Hello and welcome to IABM TV. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Penny Westlake, Director Europe for Interra Systems. Penny, hi.
Hi, Darren.
Well, without much ado, let's jump straight into the first question. How is the landscape for quality control and monitoring changing?
Well, we've found, certainly with the events this year, that the landscape, the scope and the need for QC and monitoring is increasing. On the one hand, there's increased automation and centralization going on, but at the same time, there's also, it's created a need for localization of content. And those automated workflows certainly require a lot more in-depth QC, a kind of QC backbone, if you like. With the smaller production and post domain, content is tending to need to ensure that their content is technically correct, but also perceptually correct. So QC has kind of expanded there. When these companies are making deliveries, maybe to these giant OTT companies or broadcasters, they have to do it in multiple formats, multiple outputs, and the requirement for monitoring all of that is much greater than ever.
Okay, and what technologies are driving this change?
Well, on the output side, multiple consumer outlets require multiple reformatting of content, and new methods of compression or encoding are coming along all the time. And as a company specializing in QC and monitoring, we can focus on ensuring these complex workflows will be efficient. Increasingly, we've seen the use of machine learning and AI in these parts of the workflows, and correspondingly, we're able to use these in the sort of QC and monitoring domain. Essentially, it's enabling the humans to be used or to use themselves in the most creative way, and leaving the tedious tasks to the machines.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of any new solutions and updates to existing solutions that Interra has, what have you got that's on offer for solving the complex media issues related to QC and monitoring?
Well, Interra's pretty well known around the world for its Baton and Vega products, which offer QC in the file-based workflows. But we're also increasingly seeing our global presence get larger in the real-time monitoring world with our Orion suite for monitoring transport stream and OTT output. We've expanded our range considerably with the new Winnow, Caption and Lip Sync products. Winnow focuses on content classification. You can use it in conjunction with Baton or Vega, Baton doing the technical reports, if you like, checking that all is well. But then there's an increasing need. We're typically seeing Winnow used for getting objectionable content, if I can put it like that, found within the video or audio. And that might be something as simple as a political symbol that's undesirable in certain markets, or it may be a gun or violence or nudity, something of that kind. And we're seeing Winnow increasingly used to identify that these kind of images and put them in front of a human, say using something like our media player, for a decision about whether it's acceptable or not, possibly from a human, possibly from another machine. As I say, the machine learning and AI is increasing and increasing.
Yeah, I guess, I know, when you're syndicating content around the world, compliance to local laws and regulations is quite an important issue. So if you've got a product that helps speed up that process and automate it, I'm sure that you must be doing good business right now.
Yeah, well, as you say, localization is very important. And, in a lot of countries and geographies, there are different, shall we say, different objectionable things. So it's possible to adjust Winnow to suit your particular local schema and decide what is important for you to pick up and what is not. But it may well be a centralized operation, use it in the same way. We do have other products, you know, around this localization area. The other one I mentioned was captions. Caption has 3 modules: Caption QC, which specializes in identifying errors and what's happened with captions and subtitling. And again, there's an increased need for compliance around the world for accessibility and access services to be provided as part of video. And that's where this product firmly sits. We have auto caption correction module, which I think is fairly self-explanatory. It goes through and corrects what it sees. Obviously, captions are required in different formats for different services. It may be something with the alignment, or it may be something with the number of characters allowed on the screen. And again, you can set up, if you like, schemes so that you can identify if the captions are correct for that particular service. And the third one that we're now moving into is caption generation. And this is using natural language processing. And all of these products build on what we do in Baton and take it all, you know, a couple of steps further on, so that it's possible for people to look at what they're doing in an automated fashion and concentrate human activity where it's best needed. And the third one that we're talking about today is lip sync. This has been for years something that's been very labor intensive and is quite a tedious job, but lip sync and AV sync are one of the things that consumers find most irritating when watching. And it can happen for a number of reasons. It might be editing, it might be transcoding. There are all kinds of reasons why it can happen, and it can happen for part of a program or all the way through. So we now have a product, again, based on machine learning and AI, that enables us to automate finding this kind of error. And all of these products also have integration with the media player. So any reports that the machines make can be easily verified, looked at by the people who are running the system. So what we've tried to do is use the machine learning and AI technologies effectively, but still recognize that the final audience, when it comes down to it, is going to be a human being. And so some human input is probably a good idea rather than automating completely.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And I guess, you know, what you're offering is a very familiar set of products with a whole bunch of new functionality to fit in with, you know, the more modern way of broadcasting right now, which I guess is remote production and remote post-production more and more.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, things were moving in that direction, and COVID-19 certainly we found has accelerated that. But certainly, as these workflows become more complex, and there are many more of them, broadcasters may start with a simple mezzanine file, but they may have 20 or 30 different formats to get out of that. And some will have captions, and some will be in a different language, and there are all of these variants. And increasingly, the media companies, whether they're a publisher or whatever they are, need to take into account that they have to have a media supply chain that is able to cope with these kind of differences. And once you do that, you need to know what's going on within those processes. And that's where we specialize.
And Penny, can I ask you one last question? When you deploy a system or an upgrade to a customer, that's just a software deployment, isn't it?
Absolutely. All of this is software, and it's available you can put it in the cloud. There are various vendors that do that, AWS, Google, Azure, or you can put it on private cloud, or you can put it on premise, or with certain corollaries, you can put it into a hybrid system if that's what you want to do, because the whole thing is software based now.
And as you just demonstrated, platform agnostic.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Penny, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks very much, Darren. It was good to be here.